So that goes to show how much changes is happening. Chelsea's new manager, Man United, maybe not a new manager, but new schedule.
Yeah.
Liverpool, new manager, Man City, new manager. So the league, it looks a lot more even. It looks winnable, So I can't help it but get excited. I am excited.
You think Tottenham are going to win the league?
I'm willing to bet money on it.
I think I'm a special one.
I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
Incredible stuff. Here we go.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Rivals on the Pitch podcast. I am here with the dedicated ones, the real ones, the no matter what ones, to present you with all updates regarding Premier League transfers, friendlies, and all the memes that we've seen going around. We got to talk about some serious stuff, some serious transfers going on. Yeah, I'm so excited. Only 3 weeks now? 3 weeks away?
24 days as of today, July 28th.
Okay, so a little over.
It's 24 days.
A little over 3 weeks. So 3 days. When the weekend comes, it'll be 3 days. 3 weeks, sorry. 3 days until 3 weeks before the season starts. So it's going to go by fast. It's going to feel slow, but it's going to go by fast. But
it's going to be worth the wait.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be worth the wait to see. And as we all know, Arsenal, champions, reigning champs. I have to say it here. Got to roll a little salt in the wounds. We're opening up the season Friday. 3 weeks and 3 days from now. A lot of movement going on, and it's been like a while since we do this once a week. It's been a while, so I feel like stuff started after we dropped off, and then stuff's already coming to an end before we even begin this one. We got to talk about it. So should we talk about it? First things first. The big bomba.
The bomba. Well, first of all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the big one. The one that lasted, 3 days?
About almost 5 days, 5 business days. But yeah. Vinicius Jr. to Arsenal.
Woohoo.
The rumor that made us dream, that made us feel big. But how real was it? Because we have to discuss how we feel about this one. Because I have feelings.
I'm
sure you have feelings. Thoughts, opinions,
sure.
Conspiracies. Right? So, let's begin. This came out of basically nowhere. There was nothing that led up to, there was no Vinicius Jr., he's not negotiating the contract. All of a sudden, Arsenal interested because there was a negotiation with Real Madrid and Vinicius Jr.'s agents that, they were not coming to agreement. And all of a sudden, Arsenal comes into the picture out of nowhere, right? And
a little crack in the window.
Yeah. And there's the supposedly number one target for Arsenal. How real this really was.
Another number one target.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
But yeah, so from what I heard, that they set the number at 160 million pounds.
Pounds?
Pounds.
Oh, okay.
I thought
it was. Let's look it up.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Because pounds and euros, we're talking about 160 pounds. Whew.
Not even million, just
you spell Google.
But yeah, so the price was set, and to be honest, I would have been delighted with this. Obviously, I think there has been a split between the Arsenal fan base, right? Because a lot of people were saying, if we're a big club, we gotta get a big player. When was the last time we had a big signing like this? Obviously, Ozil, all that time back then. And then Alexis Sanchez coming along, and Aubameyang were some big players. But Vinicius was a different caliber, right? Up there with the biggest, but big caliber. And I don't want to think that they were using us for Vinicius
motivate.
to get a better deal, to get the deal done, because Real Madrid was like, all right, well, we are open to selling. And he did say, Vinicius camp said, if you're not going to renew my contract, I would rather go now and get you guys a fee instead of going next year on a free. And then Real Madrid said, he's not going anywhere this summer. But that does leave the door open for a winter transfer window. It does leave the door open. I'm not saying we would be there, because I think if we're gonna get anybody, I think we have to do it now. We've already lost Trossard. We've signed a backup who, to me, feels more like a Martinelli backup. So I feel like we're going to be on the lookout for somebody. And considering the price tag that we've seen players go for this window, we saw Barcola going for 130 euros?
130 pounds, 170 euros.
Okay, yeah.
So, and that's why it's important to know if it's euros or pounds.
Yeah, no, it is important.
I'm more used to euros. When I do these, when I look up the transfer stuff, but it's a lot of money.
But Morgan Rogers for 117 million pounds leaves you to think that you could get something a little bit more for that. You know what I mean? So, where are we now? Right? So it seems like he's going to stay. They're going to do everything they can to work out this deal. But there's still a little bit of a window where you could say something could still fall through.
Yeah, nothing signed official.
Yet. Nothing signed yet. And the thing that I think, people are saying, like, first of all, there are so many clubs, and I don't want to say Tottenham, because I don't think Tottenham's been involved. They're doing this thing quietly on the side.
With
other clubs. Yeah. Other clubs.
Yeah, no. Uh-huh.
I don't want to name any names, but Chelsea, Manchester United, and Liverpool fans have been saying, no, Arsenal, no, they're not that big, or they thought they could get him. Listen, anything could still happen. If nothing happens with Real Madrid and Vinicius Jr., we're going to be the first in line. We were second place in the Champions League. We're champions in the English League. We need one more step to make it, we want to do the repeat. We want to win the Champions League. This is the kind of step you got to make to get to those spots. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need, we're a great team, and people are saying, like, oh, but don't you have like a great chemistry? Well, sometimes you need a little bit more. You know what I mean? You need a little bit of an edge. So I would take it. And I think if anyone's going to manage a player like that, it's Arteta. But I'm also not getting my hopes up, because I feel like as soon as this came up, I think that, I think there's
blown
a chance.
Out of proportion.
Yeah, but I was just like, you know what? He's not. I can't picture myself in a world where he leaves Real Madrid, regardless of where it was. I don't see him at Bayern. I don't see him at PSG. I just don't see him outside of Real Madrid.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. I was like, at the end of the day, I don't see him in an Arsenal jersey, not because it's Arsenal, but like you said, I don't see him in the Prem. I feel like he's very, what's the word?
Big ego?
Like like ego. I won't play for no team that's less than the best, and everybody's mind, it's Real Madrid, right?
Yeah, that's
the most decorated club, the world, quote unquote, best team in the world. Even though we had the song that says Tottenham is the greatest team in the world, so I don't know how they claimed it, but I feel like his ego or that status is, I can't leave Real Madrid, like it doesn't get any higher. And I feel like there's a lot of players that hit that, even though you could be playing somewhere and be more productive. I feel like it's, this is the jersey, I earned my spot here, I'm staying here. And maybe part of me does think that it was kind of a move to say, hey, look, I'm willing to go somewhere else if you don't give me a contract. I'm not bluffing. And it came out in the media, maybe it was a little plant to say, hey, Real Madrid, like, you don't want to play ball? Like, okay, I am willing to leave. And who knows, maybe push comes to shove, that's what happens, right? But it looks like he's signing a contract. But
he does have to settle, though, because they said they weren't going to pay him as much as Mbappe. And so he's going to live in Mbappe's shadow. And I think at a certain point when he didn't win the Ballon d'Or, I think he came to the terms that he's like, I'm never going to be as good as this guy, But I'm never going to be Mbappe.
Yeah. And he's same thing with Mbappe. I don't see him coming to the English league.
No,
I don't see. I would hope Jude Bellingham would come eventually, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon. I think that's, like I said, that's the top of the top. That's dreamland for a lot of these players is to go
Mhm.
wear, that Real Madrid jersey. And I saw it and I was like, there's no way. And then I was like, do they actually want him on the team? And like you said, you would take him, right? But where would he fit? I mean, of course he play on the left, right?
Yeah.
That winger. Maybe it's that he needs the team to be bigger. Like it's one of those where, hey, the club is bigger than the player. But to me, I feel like he has that personality. Like, no, I am bigger than the club.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, to me, I would feel like he's gonna come to the club. Whether it's Arsenal or Tottenham, it's like, I'm doing you guys a favor for coming here.
Yeah.
Like that's it's like, no, I don't want that. Even though, you say that for a week or two and then you start scoring, you're like, you know what, we can put up with it. But
right,
I
no,
don't know.
of course, and we've kind of dealt with a little bit with that with Aubameyang when he came in, obviously, and I've said it before. I think with Aubameyang there was like a little bit of a different ego. He was coming to late to practice, and he kind of thought he was above the rules. Where Vini, I don't think he's that kind of wild card. I think he's more of like, I'm the best and like I want my way and kind of thing. But I don't think he's the kind of person to give up on like training or the team things and stuff like that. But obviously, another update is that we are looking to make a third and probably final bid on Bruno Guimaraes. I don't know if that was by any chance maybe like a alluring signing that could maybe tag him along. But I think if he did come, it would have been on the left hand side, and I think Martinelli would probably be the sacrifice for that, and then we would rely on this other signing that we have, Solis, the Greek player.
Oh, from Club Rouge.
Club Brugge, yeah, great signing. I think he's going to be a great replacement for Trossard, who's this guy. I know it's the Belgian league, and it's no comparison to the top ones, but 29 assists, 22 goals. I feel like if you even cut that in half, that's a pretty solid season in the Prem. If you were to do 11, if you were to
he
do
was in the
11
Prem
goals,
one time though.
15 assists, yeah, he was, and he was pretty good. But he played for Norwich. You know what I mean? You can't expect much for a team like that, but. I think he's made some improvements in his game, and I think he's one for the future. I'm not saying he's the next Ronaldo or anything, but I think he could fill Trossard's shoes and then even evolve a little bit more. But we'll see. Like I said, we were expecting that next bid for Guimaraes. I think that's the one that's probably the most realistic because Bruno, he's not causing trouble at Newcastle. They're losing players left and right. They know they can't hold on to these players, and we're probably gonna match that price that they want.
But is there a price? Is there an actual price? Because I feel like with all the new guys, all the young kids that they're bringing in Newcastle, I do feel like there's something that needs to hold them together, and I feel like Bruno brings that leadership, and he plays, and it's kind of funny because it's metaphorically and physically, he plays in the middle of the field, right?
Yeah.
Plays midfield, and a lot of times he has that leadership role, so he almost has control, and he can kind of dictate where these, somehow these younger kids play, and they might want to hold on to him a little bit longer, because
I mean they do, yeah, of course they do, and they want money for it, but I just think that he's gonna leave on a free if they don't sell him now.
I think that might be a risk that they're willing to take.
That's a bad choice for them, I think, because that's money that's never coming back.
And that's the thing, they're kind of in a position where they need the money, right? They need to be investing in the team, and they can't do that unless they have revenue. And one of the ways to do that is to sell. So if he goes on a free, it has to be one of those where like we need you to make an impact. Because how much time does he have? He have 1 year left on his contract? 2 years?
2 years, I think. So next year will be his last.
I could see them holding him till last year, and that value is gonna go down, of course, because you have a player on 1 year deal, like on a 1 year deal, he's gonna be dirt cheap. So I could see them being like, 1 year, stick it out. We promise we'll let you go. and like he said, he's not causing any trouble, and I don't think that goes into Arsenal's favor. I feel like that kind of plays into Newcastle's favor, where he's basically saying, if you guys want to sell me, I want to go, but if you guys don't want to sell, or I'll stay if I have to. Right?
Yeah.
He's not going to be happy, but I think it's one of those where stay one more year, we'll give you a good farewell, and that's it. And I can see so.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we can put up the money. Arsenal had a friendly against MK Dons. We won 3-0. We had an assist from the new guy. We also had Reece Nelson score, who's back from loan. So we'll probably get some money for him. Jesus, obviously, I don't think he's going to continue at Arsenal. I don't think there's a spot for him. If Kai Havertz continues and Gyökeres continues, I don't think there's a spot for a third striker. So that's going to be on the go. I've heard another rumor that possibly John Stone's on a free. He's going to be a free agent. I think that would be a good pickup for.
I think he's already going to Inter Milan.
I don't know. It was not confirmed yet because I heard Liverpool were interested as well. So I don't know. If I were him, I would continue in the Prem. I think he can go more. Obviously, he's on a free, so he could go wherever he wants. But
but I mean, maybe because of age, he's like, hey, this is less physical. I could look like a superstar out here.
That's true.
And it's not like you're going to a lower league team in the Serie A. You're going to a title contender right away. You probably start because Inter Milan was initially they were trying to work out a deal for Christian Romero, but things got too expensive. Because if you look at the money that's spent in La Serie A and La Liga compared to the Premier League, like this is insane money difference, right? So the wages, the transfer fees, like a lot of these teams don't buy from the Prem unless it's less valuable players or younger players because of how expensive it could be. So I think they turned their attention to John Stone, and it's here we go from Fabrizio, but we know how that turns out. So
it's a verbal agreement, but a handshake. What does a handshake mean nowadays?
Yeah, you're right. Look at they had the here we go for Manzabi going to Newcastle and Eze, and then all of a sudden they end up somewhere else.
Yeah.
See, well, I can see the Eze one, right? Because he's a childhood, whatever, he's a snake. But with Manzabi, was he about? Yeah, Johan Manzabi, he had agreed to go to Newcastle, and then also Aston Villa swooped them up, and he has no ties to either of them, from as far as I'm concerned.
And we'll get to Real Madrid's latest signing regarding the flip-flop of information. No, don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Diamante?
Yeah, we'll get there.
I was looking at a picture of Liverpool, and then I squinted and I realized I was looking at Newcastle because of the way they can't hold on to their players that they want.
We're gonna have to make that meme, post it. But yeah, so
Spider-Man.
Yeah, not a lot of movement in Arsenal, but obviously we know what's gonna be up for sale and with the spots that we're looking at. Obviously, with as I mentioned, with Saliba being out, recovering from a back injury, Rice same thing, Saka, Achilles. We're gonna need those players to come in and make an impact. So I think we're definitely looking at a defender. I've heard Lacroix is closer to Chelsea than he is to anywhere else. I've heard Kwanzaa.
I heard that for
another one, but they've been rumored for so many clubs, and Liverpool also obviously on the lookout for another center back. So with their outgoings, I'm listen, and we can pivot to Liverpool if you want, but I'm a little afraid for them because there is little to no movement, and this is just aside from them being not able to attract many players. Do you think that? Listen, Ariola did a fantastic job with Bournemouth, but it's one thing doing it in the team when you're punching up, like where anything feels like a success. If you don't get relegated, it's a success. If you get to the top half of the table, it's a success. If you get into Europe with a team like that, it's a success.
Yeah,
I don't want to say that he's not a great manager. He is, but sometimes you get a little bit more pat on the back for doing that. So is he not convincing enough to like get players in?
I wonder if I don't know what it is because obviously they've lost. There's been a lot of players that are like, oh, we only want X team. We only want PSG. We only want Real Madrid. We only want this. Um, I don't know if it's so much maybe they left a bad taste in people's mouths from last season, under Arne
Yeah.
Slot. But I don't know because it's Liverpool's still Liverpool. It's a big name. It's a big club. They just won the league, 2 seasons ago. They're constantly in Europe. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the ownership. Maybe it's the not knowing how Ariola's going to be with this team.
Yeah. I feel like also there's got to be a little bit of a hesitation for players with how they handle the whole Arne Slot situation because they could have let him go earlier, and I think people do realize, and not to take credit away from what Arne Slot did this last 2 seasons ago when he did win the league, because I feel like, as we mentioned, obviously Tottenham had a horrible season. Arsenal were struggling with all these injuries. City, they just flopped. Chelsea, I don't know, they've been kind of weird for Manchester United, had a terrible season. All the big heavy hitters were not there, and Liverpool just kind of walked the league. That's what it was. They did win in, rightfully so, but they did kind of walk it. And when Arne Slot did struggle, when he was trying to build his own team, and he got in, record-breaking transfers, Verts, Isaac, I think so many people were thinking like it's time to let this guy go. Why aren't they letting him go? And they delayed letting him go for so long. I can imagine being a player and saying like, well, if Areola doesn't work out like in the first half of the season, are we going to be stuck? Like, are they going to be too hesitant to, So maybe sometimes players look at teams like Real Madrid where they don't hang around to a coach too long. They'll start chopping heads as soon as something starts going south. So I don't know. I wonder if it's not just the coach, but also just the front office and how they manage.
I wonder what kind of bids are coming in with. What kind of what are they? The agent talks like, oh, hey, this is what the wages are going to look like. This is what the incentives are going to look like. Do they overspend last season and they're like, hey, we got to keep spending on the low. We got to kind of we got to watch what we're doing. I mean, even though they did have a lot of outgoing sales, so that price that they spent kind of leveled out a little bit better than what the numbers are, right? But to me, I don't get it. I think maybe it's the fact that there's other bigger clubs that are looking for the players in the same position. It feels like everybody's looking for that left winger. We're all looking for wingers off of a World Cup.
Yeah.
Big teams are out there saying, hey, we're looking for someone. So there's going to be players that are going to be a little reserved to be like, you know what? Hey, Liverpool. Hey, Arsenal. Hey, Tottenham. Thanks, but no thanks. I think I'm going to go try this over here. And when that doesn't work out, they're going to come back and be like, okay, I'm available, I think it's kind of one of those. But
it's just hard to understand because if you look at a team like Liverpool, they had Cody Gakpo on the left, right? And obviously, he's not cutting it. There's a chance he might not be a starter on the team. If you're a left winger, you could come in and say like, I could take that spot easy. Yeah. If you're looking at the right wing, Mo Salah's out. Who else do they have? They have Chiesa. Who else?
I think he might be out.
Exactly. So you're thinking like I could play right there every single game. You look at a team like, for example, I know Tottenham are obviously not in Champions League, but you look at a team like Tottenham, you're like Kudus, he was injured. I could fit in there on the left. Don't really know what's going on there. I could fit in there. With Arsenal, they just sold Trossard. They're looking for a player. I could fit in there. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand why they'll go to Real Madrid where they have Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo and Mbappe, and they have, Endrick, who's probably going back out on loan. You look at PSG and they have Barcola, they have Doué. Like, they look at these teams and I'm like, where are you going to play? Like, I understand that you maybe have some, a lot of self-belief and confidence, but I'm like, realistically, out of all these players, do you really think you're going to get...
I mean, that's what Man City had for a while. They had all these players that wanted to go to City because I'm gonna win trophies. I'm gonna be playing. I want to do this, and then a year or two into their, at that club, they're kind of like they're ready to move on. Marmouche,
Yeah.
you hardly hear that name. He was a big hit when they signed him that winter, right? Marmouche, this, and now he's
Savinho.
been linked to a bunch of clubs. You have Savinho too, and
Yeah.
it's like you get caught up in playing for these big teams, and then you realize, well, I'm not playing for a big team. I'm on the bench for a big team, and
Yeah.
I mean, and there's some youngsters out there that say, "Hey, look at Nico Paz." He said, "You know what, Real Madrid, I don't think I want to play for you. I'm gonna go back to Como." And they restructured his contract. He went back. I think they have a buyback clause or a sell-on clause, but he said, I'll get minutes over here. I'd rather
Yeah.
do that. Luka Viskovic goes over to Brighton because he's like, I'm gonna get playing time. I'm gonna get my minutes in. But yeah, I mean, I think that sometimes the name is so big that you can't just say no.
That's true. Yeah. So like, as we talk about the Diamande thing, Liverpool the first in line, and he said, no, I want PSG because they showed interest. They never put the money down. They never.
I only
weren't that
want
interested.
PSG.
Yeah, and then Real Madrid comes knocking. He's like, all right. I mean, yeah, all right.
When I said PSG, I also meant Real Madrid.
Yeah, so I want Liverpool fans to take that L because they've been giving us a lot of stick for the Vinicius thing. Let us dream, man. Let us dream. There was a chance. Just like you had a chance. We'll take it. You know what I mean? They're trying to laugh their pain off by letting us know that we were going to get Vinicius. That's fine. That's fine. We'll still end above them at the end of the season.
So, and it's funny because you said Kwanzaa too, right?
Yeah.
It was linked to Arsenal, and I think that was another link to Liverpool. And it's like, well, he can only go to one club. He can't go to both, So it's funny because it's like, what do you pick? And they need a center back.
They do badly.
That decision to go after Isaac over Ekitike, or Isaac when they had Ekitike, it's kind of really shot themselves in the foot with that.
Oh yeah.
Sure, you thought it was a done deal, but last minute, Crystal Palace said nope, no deal, and now he's at Man City. So it's like that greed kind of got to him, but
they took so long to pull that trigger last season too.
Yeah,
he was right there.
And now look, now you got players that don't want. And I'm not gonna say they don't want to go, right? Because that's kind of saying that Liverpool's an undesirable location. I mean, it might be. If you're a fan of Liverpool, I'm sorry. You'd always jump ship, come over to Tottenham. But and now you're gonna spend 170 euro on Barcola. That's insane. I
do think they need it, but it's not your. You do need it, but you don't need it. You know what I mean?
That's insane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think this is. I don't think this is an Areola ask. I think they're just trying
this
to.
Is a Liverpool club signing.
Yeah, they want to sell shirts. They want to make sure that they're still seen as a big club that can attract big players. We need to make a statement. But yeah, no, I agree. It's not the right thing to do.
They do need to rebuild that front line though, because
they do.
You have Silvaslai, you have Verts in the middle. I don't know if Connor Bradley's back, but your fullbacks, your left and right backs are kind of there. The center backs, you got Van Dijk he's getting up there in age. He can't keep up as much as he used to. I mean, he's still good, right? But where's his replacement? I mean, I think they have a younger guy that they signed. I can't remember his name, but a center back and that front line, like you said, Mo Salah's gone. That left wing after Luis Diaz left.
Yeah.
That was another mistake on their part.
Another mistake.
And how much did he leave for? Like 90?
Not even.
80?
Not even. I think it was like 60 or something like that.
No way.
Oh yeah, it was like garbage money for a player like that. What he did with Bayern this season too, it goes to show.
He left for 75 million, so 65 euro or 65 pound.
65, yeah. That is nothing
compared to the prices of now. Oh man!
And Luis Diaz now heard Al Hilal.
I heard that was off.
Okay.
I think Bayern said no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. If I was Bayern's doing the smart thing, why would you let him go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same thing with Olise. They weren't like, no, sorry, Madrid, we're not selling
Yeah.
Olise. He's not for sale.
But
Wow. If you could turn back time, imagine getting Olise, because Olise was what he went from Reading to Crystal Palace,
yeah.
and
Reading,
apparently there was teams, after him. I think Tottenham was one of them, but they're like, wow, we don't like his attitude, dude. Come on, you missed out on this player.
How do you feel about his playing for the French team? I've heard he had family from north of Africa that settled in France, but then they moved to London. He was born in London, raised in London, went through all the clubs in London. He's a Londoner, but then he just decided to play for France because he was,
That's his call. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
He
doesn't speak
he speaks French. He does.
Does he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does. All
right.
I saw that rumor that he didn't, but there's a video of him speaking French.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's one of those few phrases he
AI
perfected.
So yeah.
Yeah. But hey, man, that's where he wants to play. Go for it. I mean, maybe that's where he feels most like that. Hey, this is the style of football I like to play. This is where
that's true.
This is what inspired me to my play style. This is where I figured I would want to play or grow my game. I don't know.
Yeah. I remember Ribéry, who played for Bayern Munich for so long. And he was obviously a French player. And he said, he's like, I wish I could just play for the German team. He's like, I identify myself more with the German team than I do with the French team. But yeah.
Same. I was gonna go play for the Colombian team, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go play for the U.S. team, and then I was like, you know what? I don't know. So I kind of I couldn't decide, so I never picked. So
yeah. But how does Randy feel about all this Liverpool nonsense?
I think he's a little upset that they can't. I'm trying to figure out what he said, but read what he wrote. But he's basically saying it's he's he can't believe that they can't land anyone. Losing players to PSG. Because there's another winger from Monaco. I'm not Akaliche.
Okay,
that's someone we were tied to too in the winter transfer. But like he said, that he's losing all these players to PSG, and it's like it's hard to do business when your targets prefer other teams, And do you settle at that point? Do you say, well, if we couldn't get the winger we want, what's our third option? What's our second option? What's our fourth option? And then at that point, you're kind of lowering your standards, and it's difficult. Or just put up the money and pay, right? And I'm pretty sure because that's where Randy's at right now. I think he went overseas, with the bag of money.
Some of these players.
He packed his piggy bank and he's out there counting pennies. Like, hey man, give you whatever you want, Barcola.
Yep.
I do want. So we covered Arsenal, Chelsea, or Arsenal, Liverpool. I wanted to go over Chelsea.
Yeah,
it's a little interesting what's going on over there.
Yeah,
right.
Let's talk about.
They had that there was almost a here we go for Granit Xhaka, right?
Almost,
and then it was hearsay like, well, that wasn't gonna happen. He rejected Chelsea. I don't know what happened, but regardless, he's not going anywhere, right? I think he just came out in the photo shoot for the new kid, anyways, and usually that's a pretty good sign. But so Chelsea went ahead and they signed, or they're going to sign, apparently, Jordan Henderson and Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck.
So,
that guy.
Combined age of like 70.
Pretty much. Listen, let me tell you, I feel like Xabi Alonso, I feel like he's a good manager. Obviously, he was undefeated in the Bundesliga, in a place where Bayern Munich reigns. And whenever they don't win a title, then it's Dortmund. And he went undefeated. And he basically went undefeated in the Europa League as well, up until the final, which they lost the final. And so I feel like I have to trust that he's a good manager. But I feel like he's building a team like he's coaching Brighton, where he's like, I need experience up top, I need experience in the midfield. But he's getting these players. I'm like, are these players really really going to provide the physicality that you need. And it's hard to say like, oh well, how can we argue against that considering Jordan Henderson has been playing now in the league for the past season,
Yeah.
and Welbeck he had the highest scoring season of his career with Brighton. But then you got to consider like coming from Brentford, coming from Brighton, what kind of style of football is he looking to play? Is he looking to play that Brighton Brentford style, or kind of like sit back a little bit, kind of try to take advantage of on set pieces? Like, is this like a smaller team kind of play style where they're not going to be dominating the midfield? They're not going to be high possession.
I think you're overthinking it.
Yeah, right.
I think it's not about play style. I don't think it's even about playing, as much. It's kind of a reason why we got Andy Robertson, and when these older guys were selected for the World Cup, I don't think it's a coincidence that they were going for Granit Xhaka and they ended up with Jordan Henderson and Welbeck. I think it's not because of age, but because of experience. Like, you've been in this league, and if you look at Chelsea, I think that's something that they lacked. Someone to kind of corral them in, make sure they're not losing their temper, make sure they know how to, their output. Because who's the captain right now? Enzo Fernandez?
Or Cole Palmer? Oh, no, Reece James. Reece James first.
Reece James, okay. If he's on the field, and if he's not,
I think it's maybe Cole Palmer.
If he's not on the field, then who? I do think this team lacks a lot of leadership, and I think there are a lot of young players. Like we saw a few years ago, they were signing these players for 10-year contracts, 9-year contracts. Good talents, but talent that needed to be developed. They were still raw. So I think it's not a coincidence that they went from Granit Xhaka to Henderson, to Welbeck. People that have been in the league. Welbeck's going to be the first player who's ever played for United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Yeah. Jordan Henderson played alongside Steven Gerrard, I think, in Liverpool.
Yep.
He's been there, seen it all. He's played with Luis Suarez. These players they have years. They have 20 years combined, if not more,
James Milner is next.
I forgot about him. He's playing for Brighton, huh? You might be signed. Keep your phone on.
I'm in my prime.
After they're done signing the 36-year-olds, they're going to go sign the 40-year-olds. So make sure you keep your phone on. But yeah, I do think that's a big part of why he wants these guys in. I'm sure he saw what he did for him in with Bayern Leverkusen.
Yeah,
so I think he's probably trying to replicate that. And his forwards are young, so hey, here's Welbeck. Learn from him. Do whatever he does. He'll come in for a few minutes at the end of the game. Maybe he'll see out the game. Same thing with Jordan Henderson, on that field general type guy. It might work out for them at the end.
Right. I could see that. Considering Reece James, like you said, isn't always fit, always available. They do like that leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have players like Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia, even Cole Palmer, I mean, Cucurella is now out. He was probably one of the more senior-ish players.
And yeah, exactly. And is he really that senior?
Yeah.
And I think they're free, right? Free transfers?
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, I don't know. Possibly, yeah. How much could it cost, though, right?
Yeah, right. How much is a 36-year-old these days? I was asking you.
Yeah, they're like, how much for Danny Welbeck? They're like 30 million pounds. They're like, all right, here you go. They're like, oh, no. We'll give you 30.
30 pounds.
For
30
the
million?
ramp. You had to have the ramp, the front.
For the handicap
handicap spots, yeah. But, yeah, let's see what they do.
These guys are our age, and we're talking about like they're...
Well, I need a ramp, so...
That's true.
But yeah, I guess we'll see. I'm excited to see how many. So we got 3 weeks, 30 days. So we have at least another 2 episodes. We got to do our predictions for top 6.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see where we put Chelsea. but we have to see the rest of the transfer season now. And the transfer season is going to end after the season starts, so that's going to throw a little bit of a,
September 1st, right?
Yeah, that's going to throw a wrench into the top 6. I'm sure. If someone signed somebody last day, we will have already made our decisions. So
that's true. That's gonna be a big signing. If to change decisions, it might be a big one.
Oh yeah, Vinicius.
I hate those though, because then it's like you don't see them play for your team for a while because they're still getting acclimated.
It happened last season. I said Arsenal would win the league, and thank God we did. But I said Arsenal would win the league, and then Liverpool went out inside Isak converts, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, no, that put a wrench into things. But luckily, they did terrible.
I talked so much shit. Nah, I won't say shit because it came true, so it wasn't. I was like, I don't think Liverpool is gonna vibe, or they're not gonna mesh all too well with all these big signings that they're having.
Yeah.
And then this season, we signed Tonali, Matheus Fernandes.
Yeah.
We're looking to sign Savinho, possibly Krupi, which I think that's unrealistic, but I think they're...
Because of the price that they just put out?
Yeah, I think they're going to attempt a bid from the Spurs, in the nose, the ITKs.
Mm-hmm.
All the people that think they know what they're saying, or they might know, who knows, but they're saying that we're going to put a bid in, a proper bid. I don't know if that means we're going to match whatever they're asking, or we're going to attempt to get close,
Just
probably 100. Yeah, and see hey, does that get us anywhere? And if they see them going like, no, like, oh, okay, so you are interested around this area. Okay.
Yeah.
Or they get the, oh, hell no, this is not even close. I'm like, okay, never mind. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking we get on these names and I'm like, is this going to be the same as Liverpool? Is the Zerbi going to be able to rein them in and say, hey, we got to play good together? And, maybe part of Isak's issue was that they had that whole back and forth with Newcastle and Liverpool that cost him, the preseason, that cost him time. I don't get why he would have been out of shape, because if he knew he was going to play regardless, then he should have been staying in shape. But then again, they took them all season. The whole season they didn't mesh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, freak, I hope this isn't the same case. But
well, we're on the top. Let's get to it. So Tottenham had their first preseason. MK Dons as well. Right?
We've two.
Okay.
We played MK Dons. Matheus Fernandes is a banger with a little screamer. Fernandes.
Okay.
Yeah. Off the volley. So we beat them 1-0. The second half, it was just...
That's it? Yeah.
All academy. No. See, before we started this, I was like, should we talk about preseason? Because people make it seem more than it is.
See how they look.
Right. For us, I'm going to watch it. But I'm not going to be like, oh, look, Arsenal, you guys lost to Sydney, Western Sydney. But, I'm going to rate my own players, but I'm not going to take too much account to other teams,
Yeah.
But, we played MK Dons, and then we traveled out to New Zealand and Sydney. I think we played Auckland.
Mm-hmm.
So we beat them 2-0. A lot of youngsters are getting a lot of play time, I think. After we sold some of those academy players, they kind of went out. I think you guys, Arsenal, got one of our defenders.
Yes.
United got one of our wingers. So our academy kind of is iffy. So these last 2 games, we kind of played a lot of youngsters. I think that second half of the MK Dons was just all academy players. Then we started the Auckland. Am I saying their name right? Auckland? Auckland from New Zealand.
Yeah.
They play in the...
Yeah, Auckland.
I forgot what that... Yeah. So we had a lot of youngsters playing in that first half too. Even the second half, I think Matthias Tell, Richarlison came in, but not Tonali hasn't played. I think they're kind of keeping him rested. Same thing with Fernandes. That he only played that second half. We beat them 2-0. Team's looking good. Kind of keeping an eye on the youngsters. Mikey Moore.
Wow,
He's a left winger.
That guy.
Yeah, me too. And he might be going on loan. I think he might. They're talking about Borussia Dortmund, and that would be a kind of nice little stepping stone. He went from Rangers. He had a good season with Rangers, and I think Dortmund might be next, and they did build up pretty good players.
Yeah.
So that could be a good step for him. And then we got Williams Barnett. Lucas Williams Barnett. He's a number 10. He looks really good. I think he's just a little small right now, but that comes with, puberty.
Yeah.
Time, grow into his body, but he looks really good on the ball. I think those two have some pathways to the first team, and I think they're trying to see who else would before the players are placed on loans or sold permanently. But other than that, I mean, those are the academy guys, right? So besides that, for first team players, we got, I think, rumored with Savinho right now. I think Savinho, a lot of people were kind of
And Marmouche,
wanting,
right?
Huh?
And Marmouche, I heard.
I haven't too much heard of Marmouche.
Okay.
I think that's more of people wanting it to be true.
Okay.
But look at Krupi. If Krupi is, for a number 9, if he's going to be 130 million or 100 euro or pounds, whatever it might be, that's pretty expensive, and then maybe Marmouche is a 60. You spend 60 on Savinho, 60 on Marmouche, which still is a lot. You're still spending 120. See, and that's that Levy math that I hate that I'm doing in my head right now, because I'm like, well, instead of paying 120, you can get 2 players, and this is what kicked their ass, these last few years. But sometimes it is smart, right?
Yeah.
Because Marmouche isn't a bad player, and I'm sure he wants some playing time. He Frankfurt, he did great. I think if he wouldn't have gone to Man City, maybe our Europa campaign might have been a little differently, knowing that we were facing Marmouche and Ekitike. But he was gone to City, and he made a big impact. So Savinho, I think he played left and right. He played right with Girona. Not Girona. Yeah, Girona.
Yeah, Girona.
And like you said, Kudos can be injured, so he can fill it in any spot there. They're saying if we do sell Lucas Bergvall and Pat Mentasar, yeah. But if we do sell those two, that bringing in another midfielder would be an option. So that could either be Morgan Gibbs White,
again,
or or Alex Scott from Bournemouth.
Okay. What's his name? What's the guy just went to? What's the guy that Everton? Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish, doppelganger.
Yeah. His little brother. Apparently, he's waiting out for Tottenham, and
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's what people want to be true, but he's a Tottenham kid. He's a Tottenham boy.
Okay.
You know what? I hope Arsenal's like, hey, Alex Scott, you want to come over? And I hope he's like, hey, Deserby, are you sure you don't want to buy me? Because Arsenal's trying to buy me, and he's like, you know what? We got you. Come on home. And then he's gonna go there, and he's gonna be like, North London Derby's gonna score too. But I think that's it. They're saying rumors are that Tottenham want to bring 2 forward players in. Yeah, I will take Marmouche if Marmouche and Savinho want to come. If Man City want to play hardball, but I think City was looking also for that Monaco winger. They were also looking into him. And if they get him, I think they're more likely to let Savinho go. And who knows? Marmouche might be like, you know what? Savinho smells like he's about to win a title. I should go join him.
Yeah, okay.
Hey. I'm just saying, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. I think we could be title contenders.
I've been hearing this. For how many years have we been doing this now?
You've been hearing it, but you're about to see it. That's the difference.
Are you going to draw a picture?
Yeah. Every week. But I think it is going to be exciting season. The different coaches that are coming into the league, the transfers that are coming in, it just seems like the league has just took a little step this season. And partially it's because I feel like Man City took a step down, and now it's a little bit more even, until they start spending like crazy. But it does seem a little bit more like an even playing field, because like Arsenal right now with Arteta, he's probably he's the head coach or the manager with the most longevity right now, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So that goes to show how much changes is happening, So Chelsea's first time manager, your new manager, Man United, maybe not a new manager, but new schedule.
Yeah.
Liverpool, new manager, Man City, new manager. So the league, it looks a lot more even. It looks winnable, So I can't help it but get excited. And I am excited.
You think Tottenham are going to win the league? You truly
No, I
believe
don't
that?
think I
Okay.
wouldn't. And I always say this, and I always come back to this. This is how much do I believe? Okay, I'm willing to bet money on it. How much money? That's a different story. I'm willing to. I'll bet $100 that we win the league. Am I going to bet 200, 300? And I'm not a gambler, so
Okay.
I'm not going to sit here and say, $1,000.
Mini league is monetized this season, isn't it? Though.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Right.
Where's the trophy?
I got it right.
Oh, you lost it. Can't believe you had it for 2 years already. I haven't seen it in 2 years.
I'm gonna send it to you. I want to leave something inside, put a cap on it. You get
so
it,
you're
just
gonna
open
send
it up and smell it.
Oh gosh. So you're gonna send it to me?
If you would, with the money inside.
You already know. You already know. Coming for it.
But we'll see. Yeah, I do think this season is gonna be it's gonna be hard to predict because of, like, as you mentioned, Chelsea, new coach, new players. Man City, new coach, new players. Tottenham, new coach, new players. Liverpool, new coach, new players. Aston Villa. You never know what you're gonna get with Aston Villa. And then
I think they might struggle.
Well, let's do
I think
quick,
they still have to.
Let's do a quick round. So they sold, obviously, Morgan Rogers to Chelsea, record fee, and in return they got Garnacho, Garnacho was sold by Manchester United to Chelsea for one fee, and then somehow the fee was higher from Chelsea to Aston Villa. That's gotta just be inflation, right?
Yeah, the same thing with James Trafford.
Yeah.
He played four games, lost 3 of them, and still went out on a higher transfer fee.
Yep. But yeah, so aside from that, I know they signed the one player from Wolves.
The Manzabi from Freiburg. They might lose Emi Martinez.
They lost Malin, who's a center forward winger. They lost Yuri Tillemans.
Tillemans, yep, that's true. I forgot about him.
So Tillemans is a good one, and that was a good pickup by Manchester United to get, which I think we talked about already. I think he's going to fill the Casemiro shoes well. But yeah, Garnacho, it feels a little desperate to me. I feel like they could have picked someone else up from maybe the Italian league or someone maybe from the German league that's a little bit lesser known name, maybe someone from Leipzig that's not Diamande, and I feel like they could have had maybe a little bit of luck. Garnacho seems to be a character that's hard to work with, but we'll see. Unai Emery, experienced coach. Let's see what he can do.
That's what I think with Aston Villa. Their hands are tied a lot of times because of financial issues, and they have to settle for Garnacho. They got João Gomez from Wolves, Manzambi, Freiburg.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You don't think that for the amount that they paid for Garnacho, they could have gotten someone from like Serie A or maybe someone from Liga, a little less. I mean, did this, for example, I know that they're not looking for a striker. They have Ollie Watkins. But what's the Spanish striker that just won the World Cup? Or Yassabal?
Yeah. Orzabal.
How much could he have been worth? Real Sociedad. Maybe 50, maybe at most. I feel like even though he had a great World Cup, I just don't feel like everyone's looking at him. So you consider players like that. I'm like, how much could, really Garnacho? Like, what do they see in him? Oh, come on.
Yeah, but I feel like Garnacho isn't going to play that striker position. I think he's playing that winger.
Yeah. I mean, Somerville. You like the Somerville?
Yeah, that's true. Somerville.
Bowen said he's not
you don't even have
leaving.
to buy him. You don't even have to buy him a new uniform. The colors are exactly the same. No one's going to tell the difference.
Change the badge, yeah.
We'll sign you, but keep your uniforms because we're not paying for new ones.
So Bowen obviously said he's staying. He's going to try to bring the team back up. I'm not surprised, but could that be?
I like that.
Could he have been convinced? Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
You know,
the right deal comes around.
exactly. They're relegated. They'll take the money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Couldn't they have gotten someone better? I feel like they could have.
Maybe they saw something in him and say, hey, you know what? He's alone. We'll come in here, use him for whatever we need him, and then send him back.
Rashford's release clause just expired, so now any purchase for Rashford will be up now for negotiations. But it was £40 million. They paid like 36 for Garnacho.
And they know who he is. They played with him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would take Rashford right now. Like, if we don't get Vinicius or something like that, go out and spend the money wherever else you need to fill and get Garnacho on the wing. Here, I'd be fine with that.
That's true, yeah. But I think Rashford was an option too for us.
But I wouldn't negotiate anything higher than what his release clause was. I think it was like set at 40. I wouldn't pay over 40.
I think the biggest concern is his wages, what he's asking for.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he knows. He's got to know that that's going to be the issue with a lot of teams. I think he has to come to terms that he's not going to get that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would take him. Considering the World Cup he had, I would take him.
That's true, yeah.
But let's see. He's returning to Manchester United until further notice. So we'll see where he ends up. If he does play, if he doesn't play. Obviously, he did play with Carrick. I believe he did. So we'll see if he gets reinstated into the squad. They could use the depth, I'm sure.
He played?
Yeah, I'm positive he played with Carrick. Yeah.
That's an interesting one to watch. And I can't wait. Until we play him. Because United fans got real loud last season. for someone who's only played 40 games or 42 games or whatever it was, they were real loud. 30, I can't wait.
Yeah, 40 games or 42, yeah.
They're going to be exhausted. They're like, we have another game midweek? What is this? Hey, yeah.
I just got home. What do you mean I got to leave again?
So you think, was it you that said you don't picture Eddie Howe making it halfway through the season or Michael Carrick?
Yeah.
Both or just Eddie Howe?
I said Eddie Howe, but Michael Carrick, it's hard to say. I think there's a chance. Depends how the season go, but I feel like that's an easy one for the ownership to cut. I feel like they'd be like, thanks. And it's not going to feel like a harsh, because he's still a new manager.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But Eddie Howe, I don't think he's making it. Sorry, bud. I know he listens. Just an opinion.
I'm trying to see what other big names are coming into the league. Oh, Jeremy Jacquet from Reims. That's the center back going to Liverpool, the younger one.
Oh, okay. They never ended up getting that player for Borussia Dortmund. Forget what his name was, but
Nicholas Schalak. Who signed him? Someone signed him, I think.
Sheesh, they're missing out on everyone.
Schlagbacher? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The last thing I need is for
Schlotterbeck.
Yeah. Last thing I need is for United to steal one of their targets, and then I'll be happy because they need to be brought down a notch. Liverpool. I know you want United to get brought down a notch.
Yeah, I do. And they were, oh my God, especially with like when we signed Tonali and Mateus Fernandes, who they were our targets. They talked all this crap like, oh, Tottenham can't sign them. I'm not even worried. Those rumors aren't even real. Then we signed those two players, and then all of a sudden it's, we didn't even want those guys. You guys overpaid too much.
Look what we did. We got the same thing for half the price.
Exactly. I'm like, it's funny how you change your tune when when all this happens. But
yeah. Hey, that's what happens when you pay above asking price and you do it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
and 16th place. That's what you.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, man, did we overpay? But it's like, we had to pay.
Nah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
we had to pay the money, and then we have to keep investing because we have to pay more money. It's going to get to the point where we're going to spend so much money that clubs are going to look at us like you're ruining the league. But it's what we have to do to become competitive. And then once we do that, players are going to be more willing to come to Tottenham because, okay, well, we know they're going to compete, right?
You're paying
Right
for
now,
your
it's-
mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. We are very much so. And, we thought, oh, we're going to get away with not spending. We're going to get without spending. No, you just push the problems further along, and now it caught up to us, right?
Yeah.
But we have to get to the point where we have to be competitive consistently, not just be in competitions, but be competitive in all these competitions so that players come to us and they're like, hey, Tottenham's knocking. What do you want to do? And players are like, you know what? I've been watching their football. I like how they play. They're competitive. I can go to them. I'm not going to go there to be the hero or get stranded anymore because that's, you couldn't blame players for back then when they look at Tottenham and be like, what do you want me to go do over there? Why would I want to go there without European football? And look at the mess that they're going through, coach after coach after coach. Why would I want to go there? So
Yeah.
now it's the time to just spend the money, give the manager the team he needs to become successful, to become competitive. He's here for 5-year contract, just do it so that we build that foundation and move on. But it's a lot of money. It's scary, and I don't want to put ourselves in a financial issue because
No, come on. Just get Taylor Swift to come again.
yeah, you're right.
There
You know what?
go.
Hey, Jay-Z's coming out, so
There you go.
Hey, get Croupy on the phone.
Yeah,
We're not asking. We're telling you.
I'll stop believing there.
So I know you kind of talked about transfers and how much you wanted Vini. Who has your dream transfer changed so far? So right now, as of today, July 28th, do you have a dream transfer?
I mean, I still think Julian Alvarez is out there. He's hanging on. He wants to leave, and he wants Barcelona, but Atletico don't want to sell to Barcelona.
Yeah.
They'll say, we'll sell it to anybody else. But he's hanging on in the hope that they'll ease up and let him go to Barcelona. But if he doesn't, he said, no, I'll go literally anywhere else. And I think Arsenal are right there. They're waiting. So I just think it's going to be one or the other. I think the Vinicius door is closing already. But I think any player like that seems like a dream transfer at this point. If you get someone who you feel is going to get you over the line again, someone who's going to maybe give you a chance in the Champions League, that's a dream transfer to me. So I think Alvarez or Vini, even though I think that door.
So either
closed.
or?
Yeah.
1A, 1B?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter?
Yeah.
One of those?
Yeah. Yep. What's Tottenham's dream transfer?
I mean, since money's not a problem anymore, I don't even have to dream. I would love to have Croupy. I think he would be a game changer. I think that front line would be a lot different with him. And that's if we get Sevilla too. But I don't want to pay the 130, even if it's a dream. Like, I don't want to pay that money for him because one, that closes the possibility of signing another, maybe a right winger. They were talking about Ibram, maybe from PSG. I think he's like an 18-year-old from PSG, right winger. I think he can play on the left too. Like, I don't want to spend so much on Croupy that we can't fortify that front line even more, with either depth or starters. But I would love to have him as long as it doesn't hinder more business.
Okay.
Because I think that's something we could sell Richarlison and bring Croupy and Solanke in. I think that would be great because Croupy can even play on the left wing. Or you can have those two up front, or however De Zerbi wants to do it. Or you have a striker in the center forward. That 1-1. We need to score goals. So
it's a long way from Christmas, but we could dream. All right. So I think we covered all the big ones, right? And Tottenham.
The biggest, the largest. All right, and that is an episode of Rivals on the Pitch. Thank you for joining us for this yet another summer edition, transfer edition, before the season edition of Rivals on the Pitch. Make sure you guys tune in. We got some exciting stuff coming up. We got some jersey rankings. Who knows? There might be a little bit of a giveaway there. Wink, wink, stomp, stomp. Make sure you tune in for that. And then we'll get into our predictions on how we think the season's going to unfold. How the season's going to unfold. And then with our week 1 predictions to kick off the mini league. So the mini league is back. We got Pat, the title contender. He's about to fall, so make sure you guys join us on that journey, and as we crown a new champ. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, follow on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. Tell a friend. Share us. Make sure you give us a 5-star, and we'll see you here next week. Come on, you Spurs! Koi, 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 koi. Peace.